Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Louise, and today I'm going to be doing a 24-hour readathon. Hey everybody, this is post-vlog Louise here. I just wanted to mention that I had started this video as a 24-hour reading challenge, and then I realized I wasn't going to be able to do 24 hours straight, so it became a 24-hour stopwatch challenge, and then I kind of lost my stopwatch and then turned it into a week-long vlog, and then this series took me 3 weeks to read. Mostly because I knew that the final book was going to be I'm going to sit down and read the whole thing at once sort of book. So it took me about a week and a half before I finally actually picked it up and read the whole thing. So just want to make sure that you knew what this video ended up being, and also so that you're not really confused about the 24-hour thing that I was talking about at the beginning. And probably for about half the video. I haven't really edited it together yet, but I'm fixing to start working on that. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. My parents are currently out of town, so I'm going to go ahead and just take advantage of that and do a 24-hour readathon. I am really excited. I have been looking forward to this for like 3 weeks. So the books I'm going to be reading are The Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel, so this series. They have been on my bookshelf for just about as long as I can remember, honestly. I've wanted to read them for ages and ages and just have never gotten around to it, so I'm really excited to read these. I think I can read all of them in 24 hours, so we'll see. We'll see. There are 6 books in total, which I don't know. The type isn't small. It's actually pretty good size font. It's not spaced out really big, but it's also not like really close together. I might be able to read this whole series in a day. Actually, I think I wrote down how many pages there are. There's 2,605 pages. To do a 24-hour challenge, I'd have to read 109 pages every single hour. That's a lot of pages. But yeah, either way, I'm really excited to at least attempt this. And I've decided that I'm going to be doing it the stopwatch method rather than forcing myself to read for 24 hours. I actually have my old phone here that's all cracked and broken. I'm going to use that to do the 24-hour timer. Mostly so that if I end up falling asleep, I'm not really going to hold it against myself. My plan is to read for 24 hours straight, but I want to read for 24 hours total for sure. So hopefully I'll be able to read all the way through, but if I don't read all the way through, I'm not really going to be mad about it. It's 11:03 right now, and I'm going to want to get started probably at 11:30 and just try and go all the way through tonight and then all day tomorrow. So I'll probably check in 20-25 minutes when I start, and then I'll just check in whenever I do. Hopefully at the end, like at every hour, and at the end of each book as I get through them. But either way, I'm just really excited to do this one. So I'm about 15 minutes in, and I'm on page 16, and one of the characters, Sophie, works in a coffee shop. And it's so funny because there's this line that says that she could tell her Earl Grey from her Darjeeling, and it's funny because I can too, because Darjeeling's just better than Earl Grey. But I just thought that was really funny, and it just kind of clicked with me because I love Darjeeling. It's very delicious. Anyway, I need to get back to reading. I took a little bit of a break because I need to get some water, but so far, and with what little that I've read, it's really good. I'm really enjoying this. It's not quite children's, but it's more young adult, I think, because these characters are 15. But it's an easy read either way, so should probably get back into it. So I forgot to resume my timer, so I'm like 15 minutes behind where I should be, but you know, I think that's fine. I think I'll go ahead and give myself those 15 minutes. But I want to keep on reading. While the timer's going, I'll keep on reading. The only time that I'm going to stop the timer is when I'm eating, using the restroom, sleeping, if I do end up sleeping, which I'm going to try not to sleep, but it's just a little frustrating that I forgot to continue my timer when I started reading again, but either way, I want to get back into it. So I'm on page 36, and it's telling me about all of Josh's likes, and there's some whiplash in here. Like, it says he played football, sang in his friend's band, there's a few girls he was interested in, sometimes played the occasional computer game, preferring first-person shooters like Quake and Doom and Unreal Tournament. That's some whiplash! He couldn't handle driving games and got lost in Myst. Those are not recent games. He loves The Simpsons and could quote chunks of episodes by heart. Same. He really likes Shrek, although he'd never admit to it. Who doesn't like Shrek? He thought the new Batman was alright, and that X-Men was excellent. Like, the new Batman? You mean the Christian Bale Batman? Because there's been a new Batman. X-Men is excellent, which, fair. Those are good movies. Like the original early 2000 ones. He even liked the new Superman. Which new Superman? There's like 10 every decade, I swear. Which new Batman? Is it the Henry Cavill one? Because I haven't seen those, so I have no opinion on them. I just like Henry Cavill. But it's just so silly. Like, there's such like little touches in this book so far. There's like little moments of humor. The pop culture references are fine, but it does unfortunately date this book. 2007. This book came out in 2007. I'm going to assume it's the Henry Cavill Superman then. 2007. Was I in middle school? I think I was. Like, there are other books by this author, by Michael Scott, and there are novellas that are ebooks. The Death of Joan of Arc. That's fine. That's something I'd expect to be in with all the rest of this. But the other one is Billy the Kid and the Vampires of Vegas. I want to read that. You've got Billy the Kid and vampires in Vegas? I mean, kind of sounds like the Courier in Fallout New Vegas, except you have to take the cannibalism perk. The pop culture references are a little bit of whiplash, but they're entertaining because I understand them. So I am 3 minutes from an hour. I'm at just about the 23-hour mark left to go. 1 hour mark, whatever. I'm on chapter 8, page 60, and I am not going to finish all 6 of these books in 24 hours. I need to read 109 pages an hour, I think. That's just not going to happen. I'm really enjoying this so far. Back when I first tried reading it in like middle school, it didn't really capture my attention. I don't know what I was expecting from it, but it just was not what I wanted it to be. But so far it's been really good. There's all sorts of, mystic magic stuff and talk of elder gods, and it's very interesting. It's got a lot of similarities to, like, I don't want to say it's similar to Supernatural, but it has a lot of that leaning really heavily on folklore and myth and stuff that already exists and just kind of putting it into the real world. So far, this book's like right up my alley. Like, we've actually just been introduced to one of these elder gods, and I already like this person, so they've only been on like 3 pages and I already like them. Something about D, though, the antagonist, Dr. John D, is so funny. Every time I see the name D, I'm like, D Boot, like in Lonesome Dove, D Boot. But yeah, anyways, I'm on page 60. I still have 23 hours to go. So far, I'm feeling really good. It's been holding my attention. I think it's also right around 1 o'clock. So obviously I've taken way too many breaks. So technically I should be done with this 24-hour readathon by noon tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be way later. especially if I end up taking a lot of breaks, and then if I take a break to sleep, that will be even longer. But I've got 2 full days where I'm home alone, so I'm just going to take advantage of the time that I have to myself and read. So I'm on page 103, chapter 13. I am an hour and 45 minutes in. So far it's been really very good. The story has really been keeping me engaged. I don't know, I just really like these characters. Even D, I like him. All this stuff with, elder gods, very interesting. I really like Scatty, who's this warrior elder god. I like Nicholas Flamel, I like the twins. I'm a little disappointed how long it's taking me to read this, but I kind of went into this expecting to have at least a little bit of a difficult time reading all this in 24 hours. I mean, I'm reading more today than I usually do. But yeah, I'm excited to keep reading. And yeah, I'll probably check in again in probably another hour or so when I hit page 200 probably. So I'm now 2 hours in. I've got 22 hours left. I'm on page 115, and they've met up with a elder god, one that's older than Scatty, called Hecate. I'm going to mess up so many of these names, I already know it. But there's this paragraph in here, and it's so funny because it says, "But I was there when Abraham the Mage set down the first words of power in the book." That is so funny because, I mean, it's basically straight out of Narnia. "Do not cite the deep magic to me which I was there when it was written." It just makes me giggle. There's so many little things in this book, and it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. It's just taking me a long time to read it. I'm just a slow reader, but that's okay. I'm having fun reading, and the challenge is to read for 24 hours. As much as I can in one sitting. But yeah, I'm having fun, so I'm gonna get back into reading. Okay, so it's currently been 3 hours, my 24 hours, and it is currently 4:30, and I'm on page 166, almost at chapter 19. Quick little update. I haven't gotten a whole lot further, but that doesn't mean that I've been disliking this anymore. This goddess called Hecate. It's so funny. So she's called Hecate, the three-faced goddess. And I immediately figured out that in the morning times she'd be young, in the middle of the day she'd be middle-aged, and at the end of the day she'd be old, and that she'd die during the nighttime and be reborn at the rising of the sun. I figured that out, but Josh and Sophie, the twins in this book, or the two main characters really, they did not get that, and it felt to me a little obvious. I think that this character's been in mythology before. I mean, obviously all these characters are based off of myth and such, but it's just a little frustrating to see these characters not immediately get it. Anyways, back to it. Okay, so I took a bit of a break to get myself some dinner and to get myself a glass of wine. I still have 20 hours and 40 minutes left. I still have about half the book left, and this is going to be the first one, The Alchemist. Yeah, now that I've eaten and I've got a full belly and I've got a drink, as well as my water here, I'll get back into reading. Okay, so it's just about at the 4-hour mark. So I still have 20 hours left, but I just want to check in and mention this particular line right here. It says, "I'm old now, so old," Nicholas said very softly. "Do you know how many friends I've buried over the centuries? And did you feel their loss?" There was a note of genuine curiosity in Hekate's voice. "Every one." "Do you still?" "Yes, every day." The goddess reached out and placed her hand on his shoulder. "Then you're still human, Nicholas Flamel. The day you stop caring is the day you become like D and his kind." And it's like, that's a really good line. Those are good lines right there. Like, that's really good. I like that. So long as you continue caring, you will still be human. I just wanted to do that little check-in. I really like that line. That's all. Okay, so it is 8:30 in the evening. I'm 5 hours in, and I just got through the battle at Yggdrasil in Hekate's Shadow Realm, and wow, there is a lot going on, which is really good. Like, there's a lot, but it was a good amount of a lot. There was just so much going on with the Flamels and with Sophie, and there's just a lot going on. It's good though. It's good though. I'm on page 272, so I've got less than 100 pages left. I should be able to finish this in the next 2 hours. I'm a little disappointed that I'm not going to be able to finish the whole series in 24 hours, but reading just one book in, what, 7 hours? That's going to be pretty good for me. I don't usually read that much. I'm just a little disappointed in myself. These aren't long books, and they're not advanced books either. I don't know why it's taking me so much time. But, you know, this book's been really good. I'm hoping that the others are really good as well. So, I am looking forward to them. But yeah, it's 8:30 and I've got my cup of tea. And I am going to get back to reading. The next time I'll be checking in, it will be at the end of the book. Okay, so it took, 6 hours and about 45 minutes, but I finally finished The Alchemist. It was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the magic. It's not common to have magical auras in things anymore, so it was really exciting reading all the magical aura stuff. So the next book that I've got to read is The Magician, but I think I might have to wrap up my evening and start reading the next book laying down, or just wait until tomorrow to start the next book. Either way, I still have 17 hours and 12 minutes that I have to completely read, which honestly I don't see myself doing that all day tomorrow either. I can probably stay up until midnight, 1-ish, 2-ish, and get another couple of hours out of the way, but I'm definitely going to have to go to sleep because these doggos won't let me not. I completely forgot about how crazy they are, but they're good. I love them very much. Anyways, I would probably rate The Alchemist with, I want to say 3.5, 4 stars. It was very enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice little adventure. There's magic. There's actual historical people, like historical figures, mythological figures. Like, it's really good. Like, some of these people absolutely existed in real life, and we don't know anything about them. Like, we do know stuff about them, but not a lot. Like, Nicholas Flamel's grave is empty. There's nobody in it. Of course, his grave could probably be empty because of grave robbers. Grave robbers were probably pretty common back in the late 1500s. Or was it 1400s? Either way, I really enjoy it. I did read the backs of all of these books before I started reading them. And they're already putting like there's like little threads of stuff in this. Things I know that are going to happen later on in the series. I think I'm going to probably be done for the day. Might read a little bit more in a bit, but I'll check back in when I start reading the next one tomorrow or before I go to sleep. It is currently 8:30. I got up at 7:30. I've got myself some coffee. I did my morning pages. I did my morning writing. And now I can get right back into it, starting with The Magician. I didn't read any of it last night, but I did read a little bit of Gardens of the Moon last night. But anyways, I still have another 17 hours to go, and I better start getting reading if I want to be finishing it hopefully today. Probably going to have to finish this little challenge tomorrow, and I probably won't even finish this whole series in 24 hours. I'll probably end up making this video more into a how much of this series can I read in 24 hours plus how much more time would I have needed. But right now my plan is to finish the whole series in this video. So that's the plan right now. Time to get back into reading. So it's been about 3 hours since last time I checked in, and I have been distracted watching Pluto TV because Godfather is on, and it's Godfather Part 2, and it's Vito Corleone's story, which is always distracting because I always love watching it. I'm on page 48 of my book, which for an hour's worth of reading time is pretty good. There's this character called Dagon, and it just kind of came out of nowhere, and I wasn't really expecting it. And having Dagon in here, it's like, oh no, that's not good. That's really not good. So I'm going to try to ignore Godfather on the TV. It's on Pluto TV. But yeah, I'm gonna get back into reading then. So I took a shower because it was just hot as can be in here. So far I've read for 8 hours and 40 minutes. I still have 15 hours and 20 minutes left. I didn't mean for this to take multiple days, but it's okay that it is. I think it's better for my own mental health to do it this way rather than just do it all in one big go. But I'm on page 113, chapter 13 of The Magician. I'm really enjoying this one. It's set in Paris rather than San Francisco in some shadow realm, but it's been enjoyable. It's enjoyable enough for me to continue reading it and to be looking forward to the next books in the series. So I'm gonna keep on reading, and I'll check back in the next time I check back in, I guess. I will say that the series is kind of making my imagination run around, so it's been a lot of fun. I'm gonna get back to it though. So I've gotten through 12 hours of the 24-hour challenge total. It is around 11 o'clock p.m. and I am exhausted. I'm ready to go to bed. I'm on page 300 of The Magician, which is the second book. I already knew that I wasn't going to finish all 6 of these, but I don't know if I'm even going to get halfway through the 4th book by the time I finish this. I don't know if I'm going to make it halfway through the 3rd book. It's more of just reading this whole series this week. I think that's just how I'm going to have to put this in my head. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this series this week. If I'm this tired just 2 days in, that's not a good sign. But, I mean, I'm not less interested in this book. If anything, I'm more interested. The more and more I read, the more I want to continue reading the series. So that's definitely a good sign. But I'm just exhausted. My eyes are itching and my head hurts, and my head's been hurting all day. And I'm just ready to go lay down and go to sleep. That's all I want to do right now. So I'll probably check in tomorrow and keep reading tomorrow, I guess. Okay, so it's Monday, so technically it's day 3, I guess, of a 24-hour challenge. I'm considering I've already decided that I'm going to be doing just a week-long reading vlog rather than just 24 hours. It's still a little depressing to know that I just couldn't handle 24 hours. But, you know, it's really okay. It's better to know than to just never even try. Yeah, I've got 12 hours left on my 24-hour challenge. I am this far through The Magician, which is the second Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel book. I'm on page 300. It's nice to know that I can read at least 200 pages every day. That's, so far at least, that's a good sign. My plan is to finish The Magician today and start on the next book, which I believe is The Sorceress. So I'm gonna go ahead and start reading. I feel so much better today, this morning, than I did yesterday in the morning. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because I took a lot of breaks yesterday and I didn't Saturday. I just feel more ready to read today than I did yesterday. So I'm hoping that that carries through the whole day. I do have my cup of coffee here. So I feel like I could definitely read a book today. So we're gonna see how that goes, and I'll keep you updated. Okay, so it's been another hour. I've got 11 hours left, and I'm on page 360. There's only 461 pages in this book, so I only have another 100 pages, and then I can get started on the third book, which I believe is Sorceress, and it is getting really, really good. Like, there's so much going on. There's just so much going on. Josh is in one place, and Nicholas and Sophie and Scatty are in a different place. There's giant lizard monsters rampaging across Paris, and there's just so much going on, and it's so exciting, and it's just so much fun. I'm really, really enjoying this book. Okay, so I currently have 9.5 hours left in the 24 hours total. I finished The Magician. Very good book. I give it 4 stars. It was really good. I thought it was better than The Alchemist. There's so much more going on. There's so much that's being implied for the future. It's all very, very interesting. I really enjoy it. I'm really looking forward to reading the next book, which is The Sorceress, this one. I'm just a little disappointed that it took me 14.5 hours to read 2 books, like a total, and I've read 2 books in like 2.5 days, which is way better than I usually do. I don't usually read more than 1 book in a week. There's very few times where I even want to read more than a book in a week. It's very rare that I read a book in a day. Like, I think the only times I've read a book in a day are the first 3 secret projects from Brandon Sanderson. And I still haven't even read the 4th one yet because I haven't read Stormlight Archive and I don't want to get ruined with the Stormlight Archive. But yeah, I'm going to continue the countdown, the 9.5 hour long countdown while reading The Sorceress. And then once I pass the 9.5 hours, I'm going to see how much longer it takes for me to finish the whole series. So yeah, I'll be checking in every now and then, I guess. So the timer on my phone decided that it was going to start back over at 24 hours. And that just really sucks. But I did look at my last clip and it said that I had 9 hours, 26 minutes, and some amount of seconds. So I've got a new timer set up in Google. Hopefully make it easier. I just have to keep track of how much time I have. I do have to work tonight, so I'm gonna go ahead and read for as much as I can today, and then I'll probably check back in either by the end of the day or tomorrow morning or whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and start reading. I'm only on chapter 6, page 56, so just gonna get back into it. Okay, so yesterday, which was Thursday, I finished reading The Sorceress, which means that I'm now on The Necromancer, which is the 4th book in the Nicholas Flamel series. I'm really excited because The Sorceress, so much happened in The Sorceress. Where the characters are now, it's very different from where they've been. Like, I'm trying to not, like, really spoil a whole lot of stuff, but right now, where the book is, where the series is, it's very uncertain what's going to happen next. So I'm really excited to read The Necromancer. And then after the Necromancer, it's the Warlock, and then after the Warlock, it's the Enchantress. And I'm just like, I have no idea what any of that means. I'm so excited. But anyways, the covers of all these books are just gorgeous. But back to the Sorceress. This is one of the longer books, but there's so much going on. It was so interesting. Like, I think I read the first half on Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was Tuesday that I read the first half, and then Wednesday I took a break from reading altogether, and then yesterday, Thursday, I read the second half. It's like close to 500 pages or something. I know this book and the next book are right around 400, so they're definitely not as long as the Sorceress, but the Sorceress was really good. It was very interesting. A lot happened. I definitely give it 4 stars out of 5. It was a lot of fun. I don't know. I think my biggest problem with this series is that there are some paragraphs that are just too long, and I don't like saying that they're just too long. It seems like such a dumb thing to complain about. It's just that sometimes there's just a little too much description, a little bit too much of re-saying what's already happened. Like, two-thirds of the way into this book, Scatty was explained who she was again, and it's like, well, she was explained in the first like third of the book, and it was explained that she had disappeared, and it was also explained that she was the warrior maid, and then closer to the end of the book, it was explained again that she was the warrior maid. It was just a little unnecessary. There's just a few unnecessary explanations. So, but anyways, I really enjoyed The Sorceress. I'm really excited to read the next book, The Necromancer. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on reading that today once I finish my morning pages as well as my daily words. Okay, so it is Monday, and I finished The Necromancer last night. It's been over a week since I started doing this, but that's okay because pretty much as long as I finish this series this week, I'll be pretty happy about it because it's been a while since the last time I read a whole series in a week. So the next book in this series is The Warlock, which I'm really excited to read, but The Necromancer was so good. Like, there were things going on constantly. I read half the book Friday evening, and then I read the other half of the book Sunday, and the only reason why I put it down Friday is because I was tired. It was like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I was ready to go to sleep. And then I did not read Saturday, but I didn't read Saturday because I worked, and I was just so tired, and I didn't want to read. But The Necromancer was so fast-paced. There's always so much going on. There's so many point of views. You go from, Josh to Sophie to either of the Flamels to Dee. There's so much going on, and it's so exciting. But I'm really excited to read The Warlock because it's the next one, and there's only one book after this one. I'm just really excited to finish this series. But I should probably go ahead and start getting into reading either today or tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see when I finally finish the series. Okay, so this is going to be my last little clip. So excited about that because I finally finished The Enchantress. I read the whole book last night. Like, I think I started maybe on page 25. Yeah, I started reading from page 25, and then I read the next, 500 pages. So, I mean, it was so good. The last 100 pages had so much going on. Like, I don't want to spoil anything. It was just really, really good. I will say that there's quite a few character deaths, which are really, really sad, but I'm not going to spoil on which ones, because like, reading a whole series, you're going through and you're like, okay, somebody's gonna die, and then nobody dies until, like, the last 100 pages of this book, and it's like, it's so many tears. I don't know, it was very good. The ending was really very good. There's a character that I was like, I think I know who this person is, and I was right. Again, I don't really want to spoil it. I think I'd give The Enchantress, I gave The Enchantress 5 stars on Goodreads, so it was a really good book. There are some things I didn't really care for, but I've already slept on it, so it's like, I don't even remember what those things are. But, I mean, the series as a whole, I definitely give, like, a good 4.5 stars. They were so good. I'm not sure if I see myself reading these again. They were really good, but I don't really read a whole lot of YA twice. I see myself possibly rereading these in like a decade, but that's a long time going. I have found that there are 6 ebooks, and I didn't read any of those. I might get around to reading them someday, but just not today. It took me like 3 weeks to read these books in the first place, which is a little embarrassing, but it is what it is. I did really enjoy these books. I absolutely recommend reading them. They're very fun. It's a really big adventure. The magic system's very interesting. There are so many characters, but you know who they are. You can remember who they are very easily because there's so many figures from history or mythology or whatever, and it's like, oh, I know who this character is because you've probably already read something that has this character in it, whether that be a mythology book or a history book or whatever. It was just so good. Those last 100 pages definitely make this whole series worth going through. Every book is really good though, so I definitely recommend going through and reading this whole series. And it's funny because like the last 3 books are the best. The first 3 are good, but the first 3 were building everything, and the second 3, the last 3, were kind of snowballing everything, and the last book is really the final battle, the end. It was just really good. Okay, so this should be the actual final clip. I was editing and I realized that I didn't talk about The Warlock, which is the 5th book in the series. It was a very good book. There's so much that happened in it. A lot of characters that seemed opposed to the Flamels or didn't agree with them all kind of came together to fight a similar cause, to fight a common enemy. It was very satisfying to see all these very different characters all come together in the end. It was a very good book. It's been about a week and a half since I read it, so I don't really remember everything about it. There was a lot of very good stuff. Seeing Odin and Hel and Mars and Prometheus and seeing Josh doing his own thing, there's just a lot of stuff that went on. It was very fun, very entertaining. I'd probably give The Warlock 4.75 stars. So, like, overall, I think I'd give each of the books, the first book I'd give 3.5, the second book I'd have given a 4, the third book I'd give 4.25, the fourth book I'd give 4.5, the fifth book the 4.75, and the final book I give 5 stars. Overall, this is like a 4.5 star series. It was very, very good, very fun. There are a lot of really good things about it, but the best things about this series were the characters. The characters definitely made this series worth reading. It's funny because there's not really a whole lot of characters that I hated. Like, I didn't like Bastet or Quetzalcoatl, if that's how you pronounce his name. I didn't like his brother. I didn't like either of the Arkans. Mostly because the Arkans were really terrifying. But, like, pretty much all the other characters I did enjoy. Like, the characters that weren't in very much or in very minor roles. Like, Aoife and William Shakespeare and Palamedes and Gilgamesh. There are a lot of characters that I enjoyed that weren't in the books very much. Then there were more major characters that I really loved, major supporting characters, like Virginia Dare and Billy the Kid, that I really, really loved. Honestly, I think Virginia Dare and Billy the Kid were the most surprising favorite characters of mine. I was not expecting to love them as much as I did. But I know all the characters were really very well written. They were very well rounded. There was always so much going on. And these characters were involved in so much. It was just very good, very well written. And honestly, out of all the characters, I'm really glad that both Virginia Dare and Billy the Kid have an extra book to read for each of them. Even though I don't plan on reading them, at least not right now. I'll probably come back around and reread them, or go and read them someday. That should be the last of everything I have to say. The characters make these books worth reading, and these books are definitely 4.5 star books. They're very good. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like. If you're interested in seeing what I have to say about other books, about fantasy, young adult, sci-fi, whatever, consider subscribing and keeping up with all my new updates. Thank you again for watching. Bye.